Bad habits control us and can turn our lives into hell. But what if all our addictions can be reprogrammed? Yes, it can be done. But first we need to understand how our brain works at such moments to influence it. All habits, bad and good, go through 4 stages: cue, craving, response, reward. For example, cue: you pour a cup of coffee or tea. Craving: I want a cake. Response: you reach for the fridge to get a cake. Reward: the feeling of satisfaction from the anticipation of eating your favorite cake. Note that the satisfaction, dopamine release, comes from the anticipation of the tasty cake, not from eating it. However, proponents of dopamine fasting believe that cheap dopamine is produced from social networks, video games, treats, shopping, and other pleasant things, which saturates the receptors and a person can no longer enjoy normal life. If one abstains from quick pleasures, then the dopamine-starved brain will begin to enjoy even boring routine and a stick of celery. The ideas reach the point of absurdity. Some advocates of dopamine detox suggest living in complete asceticism, but these are dangerous misconceptions. What the proponents of dopamine fasting do not understand: there is no scientific evidence that the abstaining from quick pleasures actually reduces dopamine levels in the brain. I repeat, dopamine is not produced by the experience of pleasure, but by the anticipation of it or receiving a greater reward than expected. If dopamine levels in the brain really were to decrease, it would only harm the body. Dopamine is necessary for the normal functioning of the brain. A deficiency in dopamine increases anxiety, leads to sleep problems, reduces libido, causes mood swings, and contributes to the development of diseases such as depression, ADHD, and so forth. Regarding the duration of dopamine detox, it's usually suggested to abstain from stimuli for several days or weeks. However, experiments on rats addicted to cocaine have shown that change in the dopamine system persists for months after drug withdrawal. This is in animals that live only a couple of years, and in which bodily processes occur more rapidly than in humans. Therefore, restructuring brain function, giving up addictions, and developing new habits may take many years for people, as confirmed by numerous clinical studies. However, to avoid waiting decades to break bad habits, our brain can easily be tricked. 1. Cue. Start by replacing the ritual. Let's return to the issue with our cakes. The cue to activate the ritual is pouring a cup of coffee or tea. Instead of tea or coffee, drink just water or unsweetened soda. Drink while standing, not sitting down at the dining table. 2. Craving. I want a cake. Substitute the concept of reward, the feeling of satisfaction from the anticipation of eating your favorite cake with your favorite fruit, vegetable, or something you like but is healthy. Don't buy sweets for the home. Replace them with fruits. Let there be lots of different fruits at home and no sweets. Studies show that creating alternative sweet habits, such as eating fruit instead of candy or meditating to reduce stress, can help reduce sugar cravings. Every time you crave something sweet, eat an apple or do some exercises. Over time, your taste receptors will adapt, and a carrot will start to seem just as good as a chocolate cake. 3. Response. You reach for the fridge for a cake. Make it more complicated for your brain. But there is no cake there. The brain will be too lazy to run to the store for treats. And to avoid buying a bunch of sweets, as you usually do, don't go to the store with a large assortment of unhealthy treats or where your favorite pastries are sold. Choose a completely different store and change your shopping route altogether. 4. Reward. The feeling of satisfaction: I've managed to overcome the bad habit and won't gain extra weight. Dealing with smoking. Changing the ritual. Avoid drinking coffee if it makes you want to smoke afterwards. Spend less time with smokers. Instead of a cigarette, chew gum or munch on a carrot. Every time you feel like smoking, do squats, take deep breaths if you need activity, or exhale deeply if you need to calm down. Don't buy a lot of cigarettes. Don't take routes where cigarettes are sold. Don't place the cigarette pack in a visible spot. Instead, put it somewhere out of reach to make it a hassle to get. A sense of satisfaction. I've overcome a harmful habit and soon I'll be able to run without getting wounded. Phone mania. According to research, the average person checks their phone about 58 times a day. That's worth a real thrillers. To beat this digital addiction, you need to create rules for yourself. Changing the ritual. Leave your phone in another room during work or dinner. Preferably interact with friends offline and spend more time walking. Install an app that limits the time spent on social networks. Turn off all notifications in apps. Come up with a very long Wi-Fi password. Write it down on a piece of paper. Hide the paper so far away that your brain is too lazy to go get it. Every time you attempt to check social networks, take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale, and the addiction recedes. And in general, find a hobby that will be much stronger than the urge for social networks. Computer games resetting preferences. Gaming addiction can be just as serious as any other. However, scientists have found that active forms of leisure, such as sports or hobbies, can reduce the craving for virtual worlds. Replace an hour of gaming with an hour of physical activity or learning a new skill. Let each level in the game correspond to a new yoga pose or a new recipe in cooking. After all, the real world is full of achievements that don't come with achievements but offer far more valuable rewards. Our brain is naturally lazy. This is an ancient evolutionary survival mechanism. Anything that requires effort and consumes a lot of energy is met with resistance by it. Therefore, we make bad habits more complicated and good habits simpler. For example, a run. 1. Stimulus. Great weather outside. Form a new ritual. Good weather, going for a run. 2. Desire. Wanting to go for a run. Add motivation by buying cool sneakers. Want to run, show off in new sneakers. That's a decent motivation, right? 3. Reaction. Getting dressed and running. Important. Prepare your sportswear in advance and place it in a visible spot. 4. Reward. A sense of satisfaction. I am an athlete and soon I'll be fit. I might meet the attractive neighbor during the run. Accordingly, you can give up a bad habit and adopt a good one by influencing these stages. 1. Stimulus. Make it less noticeable for bad habits and more obvious for good ones. 2. Desire. Make bad habits less attractive and add appeal to the good ones. 3. Reaction. Action. Make it harder for a bad habit and easier for a good one. 4. Reward. Remove the pleasure from a bad habit and add enjoyment to the good one.